Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live stream. In today's live stream, we're talking all things Shada, all variants of Shada. I'm joined by two guests. I'm joined with Luke.
Hello, everyone.
And Mel.
Hi.
Who doesn't even know what a Shada is, but she will soon learn what a Shada is tonight. So, while we wait for a few people to join, and before we dive into Shada, what have we all been up to? So, Luke, what have you been doing? What have you been doing?
It's confusing going back to two guests because we don't know who to go first.
Yeah.
We've been so lonely the past year.
We've got a routine now. It's all been shattered.
All your fault, Mel. You've ruined
Why
everything. God. How long's it been since we had James with us, actually?
I think it would be Stranded, wouldn't it? Last time we had James on.
Yeah, I guess it must. Yeah, so that's about April, so good 8-9 months.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Welcome to the live stream.
You're filling the void left by James.
You're the new James now.
James, if you're listening.
I mean, he might let you have his channel. He's not uploaded on it for a good while.
Yeah, might as well. So, what have you been doing? How have you been occupying yourself, Luke?
Not uploading on my channel. I say that, he's uploaded much more recently than me. It's been good. I think we're coming to 4 years now since the last video, so who knows? But other than that, I've been pretty good. Finished Stranded 3 actually, while we mentioned Stranded. And I think I had a better time with it than you did. Did you ever get to the end of what just happened?
I've not got around to finishing it. I feel like I need to re-listen to it and then go from there, really, to properly judge it. Because half the stuff you said, do you remember this? I have no memory of that at all.
Yeah,
insert fake fan.
Right. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, maybe just weren't in the right mindset for it.
Yeah, I think that all depends. Like, you've got to be in the right mindset for certain big finish stories, and maybe I was just not ready for it.
I suppose as well, it doesn't help that there was quite a big gap between Stranded 1 and 3. Well, and then 2 and then 3. And so the moments that were being referenced in Stranded 1 were so long ago for us.
But the thing is, go on.
It took me until they pointed out that this was the same planet as the people we saw in Stranded 1. So,
but the thing with Stranded is, I feel very familiar with the stories. It's just like the little details you miss.
I'm glad we haven't. Surprised we haven't seen Mr. Bird again or heard Mr. Bird because he
was mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I imagine it'll be in Stranded 4.
Yeah, hopefully. It'll be a bit weird if he's not there at all.
Yeah, what just happened, the final episode of Stranded 3, probably my favourite to say, actually. I had a really good time with that one.
I think Snow was my favourite of the bunch, from what I've listened to.
Yeah, I'd probably put that third. Much.
Well, damn.
I think I had a better time with Patience, didn't it?
Even though you don't really like Cold Fusion. There we go.
Just done something better for me, I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
It was weird. I like the first 7 episodes of Stranded. It's like, ooh, wholesome, fun stuff. And then episode 8 onwards, it's fascism. Just.
I mean, yeah, it's a weird one.
I suppose fascism's been in Doctor Who for a long while, though. So.
Oh, yeah. Daleks and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I suppose it's just weird seeing it as on the nose as this. Like, it's one thing when it's an analogy with humans, and when you go back to World War II or whatever with Nazis, you've got that distance from it. But yeah, here it is very much more in your face, I guess. Yeah, I like the messaging of it, just sometimes it's a bit depressing. And you want to go back to our wholesome hot chocolate times from Stranded 1.
Or Miguel on the game show.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's good.
It's weird how much it's changed from box set 1. Yeah.
It seems to have lost the whole Stranded thing. Like what Stranded 1 has. Stranded 1 has a completely different vibe to the other 2 box sets, really.
Yeah. To be fair, it does sort of bring it around a bit in what just happened, the whole theme of it being stranded, and twists it instead on the people the Doctor leaves behind after he goes off in the TARDIS. They're the ones who are now stranded with the consequences of what he does.
Mm.
And so I think that's an interesting way to make the overarching title relevant in more ways than one. But yeah, I think the last story as well, told in reverse, went into that wondering how it would work. But I found myself really enjoying how it did that.
It's basically McGann
No.
going like 10 minutes ago. 10 minutes previously.
It all comes full circle very nicely at the end. The final scene is very good. Yeah. How about you, Mel? How have you been?
Oh, what have you been doing, Mel? How are you doing?
I'm good. Hello to everybody watching. If you've not seen me on the channel before, I'm Mel. But
Wow.
you will be seeing me more because today we've filmed 2 more videos for Ben's channel. Not to spoil much, but we filmed. Shall I say what I filmed?
Yeah, go on.
So for you exclusives on the live stream, you'll get a sneak peek of what I'm doing in the next few videos. So we're doing a Mel reviews video where I've picked 3 items from Ben's collection, from Ben's very large collection, and chosen to review them and give my opinions on them. And it's just a bit of fun, really. But if it does well, we're thinking about turning it into a series, which will be really fun.
Let's be honest, we've not set the goal high for it to be a series.
No, we said it in the video, so
Yeah.
shush. Second of all, we filmed a tier list video, not to step on Luke's territory, sorry, Luke. But
I know
we filmed.
I felt wrong not having Luke there.
I know, I bet you did. We filmed a tier list video where we basically ranked all of like the Doctor's fits, because I really like fashion and everything.
Can't
So
tell.
Ben thought it'd be interesting to get like that sort of perspective on it rather than like just like the episodes in general, because I've not seen everything. So that was really interesting to do. There's a few hot takes in there, so I apologise in advance if I've knocked one of your faves. If Colin Baker is your favourite, you might not want to watch the video. But yeah, that is it. And yeah, if you have any more questions for me, feel free to pop them in the box. I can see the stylish one said.
You jumping the gun there.
Well, you know,
All right,
stylish one
all right.
addressed me.
Okay, this is your
so I
moment.
need to address
Have your moment.
this. They said, Mel, how do you feel about Ben's obsession with this little niche sci-fi show called Doctor Who? What stories has he subjected you to? I love Ben's obsession with Doctor Who. I think obsession is a little like, I don't think it's an obsession. I think it's above that.
I thought you were being really nice then.
Yeah, I
No.
thought it was.
I
was going to say no. It's
I really like the obsession. Like when I first met
Better than
him,
drugs.
and exactly.
more expensive though.
True. And when he first told me about it, like I was like so supportive and everything. And
You make me sound like it was like a really horrible thing. I was so supportive, but you're a Doctor Who fan.
no,
So
but
he's
like,
come out
it's
to
not that-
you.
It's like a group therapy session. We all came out like,
I know.
"Hi, I'm Ben. I'm a Doctor Who fan."
And I was like, oh, welcome, Ben. It's like, hi, I'm a theatre kid. And we bonded. But yeah, no, I really like it. And I like Doctor Who myself, to be fair, because like before I met Ben, I knew obviously about it because obviously it's a worldwide phenomenon. But then also like I've
Big word.
grown up, thank you. I've grown up with 5 older brothers. So it was kind of like you either watch what they watch or you don't really watch anything. So I'd seen like little bits and bobs beforehand. So I did know of it and like know some stuff about it. But the first thing we watched together was Eccleston. We started off with the Rose video, which we did a video on. And then we finished the Eccleston series, started Tennant, and then we've not got further than like the first half. Not the first half, first like a third of Tennant.
No, you're 2 episodes away from finishing series 2.
Yeah. So is that half of Tennant?
Not, I wouldn't say half of Tennant.
How much would you say then? About 4/10?
Roughly.
Yeah. So we got around to there with Tennant.
It's okay, Ben. I have therapy for my Doctor Who obsession. The first step is acceptance. I feel your pain, Cyberman. Oh.
I subject all my family members to it and buy anything related to
Oh.
No, honestly, like he gets me like traveling around Manchester because I'm from Manchester. I mean, you can probably tell by my accent.
Hello, what's going on around here?
Yeah, I'm literally Eccleston reincarnated, guys. But yeah, we trek around to all the other B&Ms and stuff to like get the new figures and stuff. But I live for it. Like I really like it, especially when it was Christmas, because we go straight to like the Doctor Who aisle first, and it'd be like, oh, he'd be buzzing, he'd be getting his stuff, and then I'd be like, oh, on the Christmas aisle. So I actually really like it.
I feel exposed.
Yeah, this is all about exposing you.
Oh no. Well, forget Shada.
It is weird how, for us Doctor Who fans, B&M means something totally different to what it means to most people.
Yeah, it's for us. It's misery and despair if they don't have the dollies.
Her most recent story was Fear Her.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Yeah, you've not seen Army of Ghosts.
No, I don't think I have.
And you liked Fear Her.
Did I? Which one was that?
The one with the drawings and like the Olympics.
Oh, yeah. No, that was quite cool. I like that.
It is, folks.
I'm so sorry if that's a hot take, and like I get people like dropping out of the live stream now.
I can see Ben shoving a little kid out of the way to get Doctor Who dollies.
No,
You're
genuinely,
right.
he will like drop kick a child in like the B&M aisle. Like you should see him. Right, there's one in Swinton in Manchester.
Oh, no.
Exposed time, and we get to the doors and the man runs, like he literally sprints. And when I say sprint, it's not just like a little fast like power walk. No, the man is literally sprinting. I lose him.
Supermarket sweep, get the
It's
Doctor Who dollies.
literally freaking supermarket sweep. Like it is a whole ass sport. Like he's an athlete when it comes down to getting these. You wee scalper.
I'm not a scalper.
And that guy on Twitter says otherwise. I don't know if you're watching.
Oh, I'm not a scalper.
He called us both scalpers.
We're terrible people.
Then squaring up on 10-year-olds just to get that rare Dalek figure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally, I could see, right? Say if there was some Pertwee figures out and they're like new ones and it was like from his favourite story or something, and there was like a little like 8-year-old child with like the last box of
That
it.
kid stands no chance.
That child has no chance. Like he would genuinely rob it from them.
No,
we'd
that
known the
kid will
conversation
accidentally
was-
fall over.
Accidentally.
Fall. Then we'll have
If we'd
to
have
seek
known the
medical
conversation was
attention.
coming to this, we should have prepared a Thanos clip going, "I'm sorry, little one."
Oh no, we
That's
can
literally
play.
him.
The parent will say this about the kid. If I can get it.
That's terrible.
But I've got to spend many hours. What are you doing?
No.
Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate that. In terms of what I've been doing, apart from being abused right now, I've started re-listening to the Eighth Doctor and Charlie stuff. And today we've had Eighth Doctor and Charlie Further Adventures.
Gonna tell man with the curly hair, please stop trying to steal the photos figure from that kid in aisle 3. Thank you.
No, that's never
Aisle
happened.
7, actually.
All right, okay.
Probably it's about 7 file, I reckon.
Maybe.
Oh, when the kid wakes up with a concussion afterwards, he'll be asking his mum, "Come on, you know what clip?"
You know
Oh
what?
yeah.
It's the child's fault.
No. Let us play the clip. So as Luke was saying, the kid will wake up and wonder.
Madam, what year is this?
Sorry, I was having too much fun. Oh dear. Yeah.
As well. I don't have control, so I just have to prod you and hope you know
have to
what I'm
prod
on
me.
about.
Hopefully I know
otherwise
what
I
you're
seem
on about. I'm
mad.
like, what are you on about? What are you talking about?
I respect it though. Do what you gotta do. It's not your fault the kid was getting in the way. Exactly. Like if a child just like gets booted down the aisle, it's their own fault
Yeah.
for being a little brat and trying to rob the first
Just
actor.
say the floor was wet.
Yeah, there's no wet floor sign.
Exactly.
Just a
it'd be
tall
fine.
curly haired man booting down the aisle.
That sounds really dodgy.
Well, that's Stylish was description of you, so not mine.
All right, okay. You probably have a completely different description of me.
Yeah.
Like knob. Anyway, I've been listening to Eighth Doctor and Charlie,
Have you now?
Yes,
You
I
did
have.
mention that.
which
How far through are you?
I have finished Sword of Orion, so I'm ready to. Yes, thank you. I'm ready to dive into the Eighth Doctor and Charlie box set now because I feel prepared and refreshed with that character. Well, the camera's going to kick out in a minute because of temperature, so we might have froze.
Yeah,
but yeah,
frozen.
we're frozen.
Stunning.
That's the camera over here because we have a new camera. I've upgraded to another camera, which can double up as a webcam, but this is the first time using it. So yeah, just trying to learn how to keep it cool at the minute, but it'll come back on eventually when it's cooled down a bit. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. But you don't really need to see us right now because we can talk about the news as a little segue.
Yeah.
So if I load the old screen share, we've got a little bit of Big Finish news, and then we'll dive into a bit of Shada action. So if I just load the old page up. If I go, there we go. Universe Quarks. So what do you make of this news leak?
I'm quite excited for it. I still haven't got round to the first unit Nemesis yet, so I'm not quite sure how to take much of this at the moment. I was kind of surprised that the 11th's coming back, but was that obvious to you that he was going to be here again after the end of the first set?
Yeah, I think he's going to be one of the recurring things within these 4 box sets.
I can't say I was too surprised by Angela Bruce turning up as Bambera. Like, I think after the announcement of her own series, it was obvious she was going to be turning up in Nemesis at some point, especially since we have Harry and Naomi there. It seemed obvious that this would draw in a lot of different elements from all different parts of the unit. And you yourself mentioned that you could see the Brigadier turning up in 3 or 4, didn't you?
Yeah, I think the Brig's got to be a given. I think this is going to be like a celebration of like different like eras of unit.
Yeah.
And we're definitely getting that with Harry and Naomi and Kate and Osgood. So yeah, it makes sense. I think I am a little bit shocked by Bambera because I didn't really expect Bambera to be in it, and especially it's like Bambera from the 90s, not present day. So it makes you think, oh, something's going on there.
Oh, it's a bit in the synopsis they explain that actually.
Oh, do they?
She's in the 3rd episode, and it says temporal anomalies strike in the present and the past 19th century infantry at Belmarsh Prison in the present day, and Brigadier Winfred Bambera is confronted by Tudor warships on the Thames in the late 20th century. So she's still in her own late 20th century time.
Shame.
Yeah.
But yeah, Quarks. I think this is their first Big Finish appearance, I want to say.
Yeah, very much so. Because there's the whole like rights issue behind them, isn't there? Same as the Yeti.
Is that, do you think, because of Andy Frank Allen being a part of that?
Yeah, because it is that same family that owns it, isn't it? The Lincoln and Hadesman deal there. But oddly enough, they don't have that credit there. Whereas with the Brigadier and like Travis and stuff, they had the little credit at the bottom. Yeah, so that's a bit bizarre.
Yeah, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I like the Quarks, to be fair, so I'm happy to have them and the Dominators back. And also, little tinfoil hat time.
Oh, here we go.
In the news article, they mentioned that Harry and Naomi know the Quarks already in the Dominators from somewhere. And the finale of Series 13 of the 4th Doctor Adventures, where Harry and Naomi feature, is titled Dominant Species. I think it's reasonable to assume that they could be turning up there as the threat for the final box set.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll get in the extras. This is the first time we've ever used the Quarks yet. We're going to be hearing it this year. But that's the thing. Big Finish have a tendency of doing that, especially, I think, 2019, we had, River Song with all the Masters, and we had it in Ravenous, and like the Fendal with Tortured, then Lucy Miller. So it seems to be like a common trend for them to sort of announce something, then go back on, do exactly the same thing in a way.
I mean, even here, Bambera.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Well, I suppose at least we'll be getting this in the right release order.
Yeah,
So I
that is
can't
true.
see something coming out before this one now. It's just like the recording and story order, I suppose.
Yeah, should be a good one. Should be a good one. Because I did enjoy the first box set of Unit Nemesis, so I am excited to see where the series is going.
Do you think
but-
it has the legs for a 16-part story?
I think so. I think that the first box set is probably, I would say, my favorite of the Unit stuff I've listened to.
No.
I mean, I've not listened to a great deal of like the Unit stuff in general. From the bits I've listened to, I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, I think that this is a hopeful box set, hopeful series. Like the way they use the curator in the first box set, I think it's probably some of the best versions of the curator within it. But mind you, they don't use the curator that much, but I think they use him a lot better in Unit than they do in Stranded.
Ah, that's interesting. I think they keep him for like shorter doses, don't they, at the moment?
I think that's what works.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, because we've not got him in this next set, but I imagine we'll have him Stranded 4. And then probably turn up Nemesis 3 or 4.
Yeah, yeah, he's definitely going to be a part of it a bit more.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the news, really.
Yeah, there we go.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah. I mean, it's only been 5 days since we last.
Yeah, that is
So
true.
there's only so much.
That is very true.
I mean,
there we go. There we are. Should we have a quick look at the chat and then move on to Shada?
Yeah, let's go for it. Starch One says, while we're looking at the Flux Steelbook, I'll just say that Flux was a stellar series and easily the best Chibnall series. The hype between episodes was unreal. Yeah, I think certainly in between episodes, like with the cliffhangers and everything, it did get our excitement up a lot more than it had done in other series.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed Flux until sort of the last 2 chapters, really.
Yeah.
For
me, it was the last chapter that threw me off. But yeah, but we'll do a What the Flux eventually, won't we?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get around to it and do like a retrospect and talk about Eve of the Daleks as well. Yeah, that'd be quite cool to finally do. But yeah, what was your favourite of Flux actually?
Either War of the Sontarans or Village of the Angels.
I think War of the Sontarans was my favourite of the series.
Yeah.
Chat, what was your favourite from Flux? I'd be interested to know. I'd be interested whether it is the Vanquishers.
Yeah, Payne Cyberman says, agreed, Flux was very entertaining, not perfect. There were some very glaring issues, but it was definitely the best outing for Jodie. Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always a shame when you get sort of the last series of a Doctor and you're like, oh, we're actually seeing them at their full potential. And it's I'm not ready to say goodbye to Jodie now after Flux. I'm like, she was doing so good, and
I'm ready to say hello to Russell though.
Yeah, that is a thing. We're on the cusp of Russell coming back, and I'm sure we'll get news about the new Doctor and Russell's vision very soon. Hopefully,
yeah. I believe they're meant to start filming soon, so like next couple of months.
Yeah. When do you think we'll get information before the Legend of the Sea Devils?
I feel like surely we must do, because we're past the point like between a Doctor announcing they're leaving and the next Doctor being announced, where this is now the longest we've waited. So I feel like surely before Legend of the Sea Devils will have something.
In terms of people's favourite Flux episodes, we have Once Upon Time, hands down. I did like that. That reminded me very much of like an experimental Big Finish story. But I think the problem with that story for me is Joe Martin should have been the centre of it.
Oh, especially now with hindsight, we know she wasn't a bigger part after that or at all. So it feels wrong to have robbed her of that.
Yeah, because we all expected Joe Martin to be in Vanquishers. I mean, she still can turn up in Legend of the Sea Devils or the Centenary, but I think it's becoming less and less likely now.
I thought the Centenary there's still a chance, but yeah.
I think that's the most likely out of the two.
I think it's just it's a common Chris Chibnall thing of throwing something exciting at you and then dropping it and not really doing anything with it.
Yeah, that is the thing.
Yeah.
That episode was like a Wilderness Years type story. God makes me wish Eve of the Daleks was that good. I can agree with that, Pain Cyberman. Yeah. I mean, the Daleks were better in Eve of the Daleks because they weren't CGI in Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, that's true. Stylish one. Would Tom Baker being in New Earth or Lady Christina spin-off convince you to get those series?
See, Tom Baker seems to be like our little weakness into things. Because you did Nemesis, I'd have happily gone, yeah, fine, I'll get it if it's on sale. But because Tom Baker's in it, you just become weak. But I don't know. It depends, really. I probably would end up getting it because it's Tom.
It'd be begrudgingly, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be a begrudgingly purchase. Like, it wouldn't be like an instant pre-order. It'd be like, oh, I better get it because Tom's in it. Favorite Flux cliffhanger? There were some good ones, to be honest. That's the one strong thing about Flux is that the cliffhangers are all pretty solid.
Yeah. I mean,
I think
certainly Village of the Angels cliffhanger stands out.
Yeah, I think that's probably my favorite. But then War of Sontarans is a good one with like the Thanos click.
Yeah.
That was another solid one.
I quite liked Halloween Apocalypse as well. That ended quite a good note.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I think that was quite a big, bold, like sort of series finale type cliffhanger. That was a really big, solid like cliffhanger.
That very much felt like a mission statement for Flux as a whole, didn't it?
Yeah, it very much set the sort of bar of this is what Flux is.
Yeah,
and we hope you're ready for it.
Painside Man, dude, you have no idea how much I don't like Eve. It's a perfect example of why Triple Zero isn't working. It's so much wasted potential. The Angel has the TARDIS. That cliffhanger was such classic Doctor Who.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good one. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Eve of the Daleks. I thought it was sort of all right. It was good. Like, it wasn't anything amazing what other people said it was, but I thought it was okay. I mean, I'm sure you can check our tier list.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't rank it too highly, but
no,
I preferred it to the other two.
Yeah, I think it was probably the better of the two Jodie Dalek stories we've had.
It's been free.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, free. Oh dear me.
I mean, for me, it's Revolution that sums up most of the things that are wrong with Doctor Who at the moment. But did I say Revolution?
Yeah.
The Daleks.
Yeah.
It's so easy to accidentally slip and say Resolution. But yeah, that one is not a favourite of mine. But anyway, still got hope for Legend of the Sea Devils because we like our Sea Boys.
Oh, we love our Sea Boys. I'm very excited.
Yeah. I did rewatch Sea Devils recently. Actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
how was
I was
that?
in the mood for that. Fun as always.
If you didn't like it, I'd have to kick you off the call and just have to do the tier list by myself.
Oh dear. Nah, I love that one.
No, it's about it.
Yeah, it's good cozy listening.
Watching,
yeah.
You're so used to saying listening.
Yeah, it's our second non-Big Finish fans in a row.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh,
I mean, you're also listening as well as watching.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true.
I mean, watching doesn't actually include using your ears, so.
I mean, technically, this could be a Big Finish fan because Shada has a Big Finish release. So
yeah, we're
not. we're not too far off there.
We've discussed Unit Nemesis.
Exactly. There we go. There we go.
Story stylish one. That tier list hurt me. Luke calling himself a second Doctor fan after his slander of 2 most popular and best, in my opinion, Troughton stories is unreal.
And Troughton's your favourite Doctor?
Yeah, he is. I just do not like his Dalek stories that much.
Are you telling me Power of the Daleks is not an A tier story? I think it's the animation what sort of weakens Power.
I can admit the animation does colour my opinion of it, but I feel like it's still not anything amazing. I'd probably say it's a 7 out of 10.
I'd go 8 for me. 8 or 9 maybe. Push it back. It's been a while since I've watched it. But I'm sure we'll watch it again sometime this year for a future plan.
Yeah. Evil's just a mess, though. I won't defend that one.
Yeah, that's a shocking one. That is a shocking one.
Yeah. But the special edition, it's so good. The special edition does improve it, but it's still a bit of a weak animation, especially when you've got them awkwardly running around where it's... they just feel like they're sliding across the screen.
That is the problem with that.
Yeah.
The Daleks are the most scheming. The Daleks are the most scheming as through the best sidecast in any Who story, and it's paced perfectly. Oof, Luke, oof.
Oh.
Dear, oh dear.
The cast is good, to be fair. Is it Bernard Archer?
Yeah, you got Bernard Archer, you got the person who plays Chin, so it's like a nice little thing, really, having those two. Yeah. It's a good cast.
Bad. Yeah, just something about it really doesn't work for me. Power Part 6 is my favourite individual episode of Classic Who. Ooh, wow.
Bold statement. But we respect all the P. I mean, Luke's full of hot takes for Troughton Dalek stories, as we've now learned. So we'll see if we're full of hot takes about more TV stories or just one in particular as we celebrate 42 years of Shada.
Yeah. On this very day, actually. It was...
yeah.
On this very day, part 1 of Shada most likely would have come out had it been completed. Because last week, 12th of January, was part 4 of Horns of Nymon. That had its 42nd anniversary. Now we're here, 42 years later, with what would have been Shada Part 1, but sadly never got finished. Or is it sadly? Is it better off one that's forgotten? Or could it more be that it's turned out better thanks to it with the animation?
So, do you want to do your classic little introduction for the tier list?
Yeah, let's go for it. So,
at
the top, we've got the definitive version. This is the one that everyone will go to now, or, well, we will go to at least when we're in the mood for our Shada fix. Good shit is a line from the story that I plucked out just to use, but obviously the Doctor just said good ship, but we've twisted things slightly. Punting, I really do not know. I just needed something in the middle
to fill that space.
Yeah, we were pressed for time. I'm not mad about this version, in reference to I'm not mad about your Taylor. And finally, 1 star or 2, Sugar, for the iconic Professor Chronotis line.
I love Professor Chronotis.
Yeah. Or should we call him Sally Avon?
Do you know what I was thinking? Derek Jacobi would be a good Professor Chronotis.
Oh, he has got that look, hasn't he?
I was watching. I was like, you know what? Jacobi would have been a good Professor Chronotis if they were to remake Shada again. Because they did joke about it on the Behind the Sofa, didn't they? Saying, "Oh, we could like deep fake it now." And I'm like, okay, do I really want another version of Shada myself?
Yeah.
But yeah, should we talk about Shada as a story before we sort of begin the tier list? I think that would be a nice way to sort of dive into it. So, what do you think of Shada?
I bloody love it.
Oh, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Going into it this time, I had such a good time with it. I think there's so much confidence in the production, especially compared to what you have towards the end with Horns of Nymon and Nightmare of Eden, where no matter how good the scripts are, it feels like in the direction it's very lackluster. It just feels like, okay, we need to get this done and out. Here,
Yeah.
it feels like there's so much energy going into it. And that's carried through to the animation as well, where you've got the passion of fans behind it completing this story. It's got an almost cinematic feel to it.
I was going to say it feels very contemporary, especially with location work. It feels very modern.
Yeah. I think the music as well. This was done by Marquez, I believe.
It sort of riffs off City of Death in a way.
Yeah, it's done in a very Dudley Simpson style for a lot of it, but it's got a more almost orchestral feel to it, I suppose.
Yeah.
I think it's used a lot more as well. It's used more as it would be in a modern sense, rather than just there for the incidental. It's not just there to fill space and have it not look awkward. It is there to add something to the story, and I think it really does add a lot here as well. Yeah, I feel like it's just got such a sense of scope to it, I suppose, as you're going in.
Like I like the idea of the invisible spaceship as well. I think that's such a clever play on everything, really.
Yeah, I think visually done very well.
For 1979, yeah.
Yeah, it's a simple trick to get right, but also probably quite easy to mess up as well.
That is true.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, just the coziness of Professor Chronotis' lab and the fact that it's a story spanning from Cambridge to this secret Time Lord prison. You're exploring more of the Time Lords themselves. You're getting more lore there. Like, I know a lot of people say, it wouldn't be as well regarded had it been completed, had it just been another story, because it has got this mythical quality to it, thanks to it not getting there. But I still think it would have been well regarded nonetheless.
I think in terms of season 17, it would definitely be one of the highlights of that season.
I think it would help season 17's view in the fan eye a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Because as it is a lot of people do look at it as a shit season and City of Death. I do like quite a bit of it, but I feel like with Shada there, it would have added a lot more status to it, I suppose.
Yeah.
I think especially when you consider they were saving the budget for this one as well.
And you can tell from what bits they've done.
Yeah. Which is why something like Haunts of Nymon suffered a bit more. I mean, yeah, you got 3 stories in a row that were all studio bound, actually, with Creature from the Pit, Haunts of Nymon, then Nightmare of Eden, then Haunts of Nymon. Yeah, so it really does feel like it's exploding onto the screen a bit more.
I mean, I think Nicola Bryan mentioned that the Krogs look very similar to Mandrill in shape, and you once that was there, it's like, oh, are they just sort of redressed like the body of a Mandrill for it? But I do like the Krogs. I think they're quite.
I think the
cool.
Krogs work better. Maybe it's because they're not going for that organic look as well.
It's more crystalline, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something a bit more unique for Classic Who, I think, actually. Yeah, I'd say probably. Yeah, could that be the best original monster of the season? Oh no, I suppose Mavellan actually. They count.
Yeah, Mavellan. I think the Mavellans have had the most legs in terms of season 17 villains.
Yeah, and I suppose the Jaggeroth. That's a good design.
Well, I think the Jaggeroth's like that one-time villain. He's very much a one-hit wonder, isn't he, Scarlio?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it doesn't quite have the legs to carry on, but it works for that one story. I suppose also the face itself, you don't see it often. It is restrained how often it's on screen.
Yeah,
whereas something like the Nymon, it's always there. And yes, you wouldn't want to cover up Julian Glover's face for too long.
No.
Even though it's unmasking him technically. But...
I mean, you do have a sort of a knockoff Scarlioni in the form of Skagra within this.
Yeah. I like Skagra.
I like him. He's good.
Yeah.
Matthew Waterhouse wasn't much of a fan of his costume.
Yeah, once he took the hat off, he was just like, "Oh, it's tomorrow, people."
Yeah, to be fair, Matthew Waterhouse was quite catty on the behind the sofas.
I love how
yeah.
we got the closing line of season 18 follows this, and it's even better. So Colin asks, "Who's in that?" Me. And that's the
No,
end.
I rather 17 than 18 personally.
Ooh, I don't know. I think they're quite close for me.
Oh. Should we begin our tier list?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Should be a nice quick little tier list for us.
Mm.
So we start off with the VHS version. We've got no Five Doctors or Behind the Sofa or other variant of Shada we may have missed out. This was the first version of Shada I experienced on the part of the Legacy collection, was it?
Yeah, it was that and 30 Years in the TARDIS.
Really great set, actually. Love that DVD set.
Yeah, I'm afraid I haven't actually experienced this version, so it's all new.
Oh, this is all me.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I've seen all the footage, just
Okay.
not the additional stuff. Oh, I did see the introduction as well that he did with Tom. They include that.
Oh, so you're saying, oh, beat you, cock.
Yeah.
Comic. I love this version of Shada because with the hindsight of Dev the Doctor and the Curator, you can think that this is Curator sort of reminiscing about Shada, and I think that's what I love about it. And I think that it's interesting watching this version of Shada because you don't realize how much is missing until sort of part 4, 5, 6 onwards, really.
Yeah, like part 1 is practically complete, isn't it?
And I think oh, go on.
I'm pretty sure the scene of the first animated scene in the 2017 and 21 version, where Chris Parsons is riding his bike along, and you get that beautiful cut from live action to animation.
Yes,
yeah. I'm pretty sure that wasn't part of the original script because you do see him on the bike beforehand, so you imagine they would have shot that anyway. I think it is just
they recycled it.
I think it is just the way to transition to, like, it would have originally just gone from.
Sorry, I just made a terrible joke.
That's quite all right. I'd save you the embarrassment. I'll just keep talking.
Okay, carry on. Oh dear.
I imagine it would have gone straight to the scene in his lab. But yeah, instead they sort of used that to transition it. So, and I'm pretty sure it is just his scene in his lab that's animated in part 1. So maybe we're just lacking 1 or 2 scenes from it.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, but yeah, and as you say, as we go on, there's less and less of it. Sadly, just because of how I believe they got through 2 production blocks. But even then, there was some stuff that they said, "Oh, we'll have to pick this up another time because of other issues going on."
Yeah, because like Scagra's ending, that's pretty much all done, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I think it's all the scenes in the prison stuff would have been shot at the same time because you also have Romana, Chris, and K9 in there too as live action. Yeah, so getting ahead of myself a bit there.
Yeah, I think for me, this would be in like the definitive version because for many years it was. But I think we have a new definitive version now, so I think that it's a good ship, good shit.
Yeah,
I think that it is good. It is really good, and I think if you have that mindset of Tom's the Curator, you'll have a lot of fun with it.
Webcast now, or you again?
Oh, me again. I have experienced this only briefly on the Steelbook, and it's sort of that weird sort of BBC sort of flash animation what we saw on like real time. Yeah, it's not quite the same as Scream of a Shell because Scream of a Shell's got a bit more movement within it. But I'm not too keen on sort of the animation of it personally. I mean, I don't have the Big Finish audio of it, so I feel like I can't properly judge it. But I'd say I'm not mad about it, the webcast, just because of the animation, personally, for me.
But yeah, and then you got the Big Finish audio, which I'm guessing because that's the same audio, isn't it? But cut
Yeah.
down. And now here, is it
I think
improved?
the audio is extended actually. I think
Yeah.
the audio has extended.
Oh yeah, that's
cut.
what I meant. So.
Yeah. So I feel like it's an interesting take on it with McGann recounting it in a way. But I don't feel like we can put the Big Finish one on there because I've not experienced it.
Oh really?
Technically, yeah.
That's fair. You just experienced the webcast.
I've just had the webcast, so I can't properly judge for. I mean, I would like to get the Shada one because I think it's like $4.99 on the Big Finish website, so it's not exactly break the bank.
Is that still on CD?
Yeah, it's still on CD. There's no download
Wow.
available of it, so
That must be the early. I suppose that's why they can't put it out of print, isn't it? So
I think as soon as I get the download for it, I think that'll be seen like £2 or something like that.
yeah. Stylish one. McGann said Shada was one of his favourite recorded sessions ever. Interesting little fact.
That must be one of his early ones. Maybe slightly second one he recorded, or did he record it in like the first batch with Storm Warning?
Didn't it come out 2003?
Oh, so it would have been like round season 2 with McGann then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I suppose. Or season 3 even.
Mm.
Yeah, 2001 was series 1, then 2, then 3.
Yeah.
So I suppose that would have been around the time they're getting into Divergent stuff.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that
Then
would
you'd
be actually.
So this would be your normal McGann for the year.
That would be. No wonder it was his favourite because, like, oh god, this Divergent stuff's not very good.
Hello, Whack Mac, and hello, Mr. Bonk Cactus.
Hello. This one's all you, isn't it? With novelisation.
Yeah, this is.
Take it away.
So it's been a while since I've read this one, actually. This was my first full experience of the story. And I could say I wasn't too big a fan of this novelisation. I suppose because it does sort of depart more from your standard classic Who tropes. Like you've got a lot more romance there between Claire and Chris. They really go in more on that, is one of my defining memories of this. And so with that, I think there's also a bit more adult humor in there. A lot of it is told from Chris's perspective, not in first person, still in third person, but, you know, very much from his point of view, nevertheless. And so I'd probably say it's punting. It's middle of the road.
I think Stylish one said that it was one of his favourites, was it?
No, really?
Just having a quick look back at the chat. I
I
could be wrong. Could be misremembering that.
I suppose with novels as well, it takes a lot more effort to experience it because you've got to read.
Yes.
Whereas audio or TV, you just sit there and soak it in. Here, you've actually got to extract it in yourself. And so, yeah, it lost me towards the end, really. I think I was just finishing it for the sake of finishing it rather than having much joy with it.
Do you think the audiobook would have helped you?
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, I think that's another one we're going to have to leave
We're
off
gonna
this ranking.
Gonna have to leave it for now.
What the heck? So yeah, 2017 now, the movie length version.
Where to start with this version? It just doesn't work as a movie, does it? I get that Shada has that movie quality, like you said at the start, but it just becomes a bit of a slog. You need to break it up into chunks to enjoy it.
Yeah, you very much do. And also, I think the cliffhangers really do work well in the 2021 version, and so it suffers there not getting to use any of those. Yeah, it does just, like you say, it feels like a slog. It feels a bit overly long. And yeah, I mean, I understand why they did it like this at first, because you are worried that with that switch from animation to live action happening, it would become more jarring if split up into 6 parts.
Yeah.
But having actually now seen the 6-part version, we know that's not the case. We know that
it flows really nicely.
Perfectly fine. Yeah, it flows very well. And so I'd say 2017 version, either punting or good ship.
I would say the story's still enjoyable.
Yeah.
If you split it into like two halves, it's fine. So I think that it's good. It's good ship.
Yeah, I'd say because it is still very much the same version.
Yeah, it's the same version of
2021.
what you're getting. It's just
Yeah.
that it's more digestible as in the 6-part format as intended, and I guess we know where this is going. To be honest,
Yeah, it's definitely gonna go up the top there, isn't it?
yeah, it has to.
Yeah, I suppose
We have our new version of Shada for now.
Yeah, until they get the deep fake.
Yeah, they'll be following like the Mandalorian and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it is a brilliant version of it. Definitely, like we say, the definitive version to experience. If you haven't experienced Shada before, this is the one to go for to get, the best way right off the bat.
I don't think season 17 sold out yet as well, so you can still pick it up relatively easy.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll get a re-release a few years down the line, so
yeah,
it'll be all
standard
fine.
version. I mean, where are we up to? It's Stan. I think is it
14's just 26 has just come out.
I have
and
14.
We're just getting
next month.
Yeah, we're just getting season 14.
So what was it 8 after 14?
Yeah, I think it was because 14 came out during the pandemic, didn't it? Well, we're still in it.
Yeah, like during early pandemic, like just as we were coming out of the first lockdown. I think it's around May.
Yeah, roughly then.
So, we'd technically still been in it, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after that it was 8, then 24, then 17. So we're not that far behind, really. They're catching up with those standard editions. I wonder if it'll ever get to the point where they announce them like both at the same time. You have like the option to go for.
I don't think they will. I think they want to favour the limited one.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think a lot of people, I know we're not talking about Shada here, but I feel a lot of people are ditching the limited ones and now waiting for the re-release. But I feel like me and you, we're pretty much set on getting the limited ones because we're too far gone.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? I think we couldn't sell our ones that exist or anything. So
No, I couldn't get rid of my DVDs, to be honest, so let alone trying to get rid of other versions of them.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, it's not actually you're not getting anything different.
Yeah,
it is just the packaging that's different, and you don't get the booklet.
Yeah, you're getting more of a booklet with the limited edition one.
Yeah, at least here where we're getting the Blu-rays, we get new special features as well. We're not just getting the same thing we got on DVD repackaged.
Yeah.
Speaking of Blu-ray, the quality of Shada, because it was all shot on film, and then not all shot on film, all the film stuff, location stuff was shot on film, but it was all kept, and so we did have that original stuff to upscale, and it looks beautiful.
It looks wonderful. It looks great, especially with like the sun as well. You really get to see how good the quality is.
The direction of this as well. There's a lot of well thought out shots.
Is it Pennant Roberts?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think the animation direction on that is great too. Like the shot of Skagra walking down the corridor as the lights follow him, and you just got Tom there to the left. Great stuff.
It is good.
Yeah. I mean, how would you say it compares to some of the other animations? Like, we don't want to get into the animation tier list as such, but
I was quite surprised how fluid the Shada one is, actually.
It really does stand up.
Considering it was the second one, I can't really talk of what's been adjusted compared to the 2017 one because I'll have to watch it side by side.
I think it's nothing too huge, is it? It does feel fairly similar. Probably just like a few little enhancements, but
it's nothing glaringly obvious like Power of the Daleks. It's nothing like that.
Yeah, because that's very much like 2 episodes were almost completely redone, weren't they?
Yeah. Whereas I guess this has just been, put into chunks of 25 and gone, that's your Shada.
Yeah, I will say one thing, animation-wise, it does feel a bit odd that you've got all those alien races at the end, and you imagine.
I always thought, because I think it was the Ian Levine version. I know we haven't tier listed because we don't have access to it to properly put it on a tier list.
I thought I'd just go official versions.
Yeah, if they would get into trouble.
Right. Yeah.
But I think his version, you had, Daleks, Zygons, and I think I would have liked that little touch to go, oh, we can get some monsters out of like the prop cupboard. I think that would have been quite a nice little thing. But I think you have Tom Baker as from his appearance in Sinbad within this animation, don't you?
Oh, that's bizarre.
As one of like the inmates of Shada.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine if it had been done, maybe a Wirren would have showed up.
Yeah.
Because like you've got that Wirren in the cupboard on Stones of Blood. Yeah. And so you could see that happening. But it feels like for a prison of the Time Lords, it would be Time Lord prisoners, not aliens.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you'd have the odd alien, like off-world person, but for the most part, I'd imagine it would have been Time Lord criminals, like Sally Avon in this.
Could have had the Crispy Master in it.
Yeah.
That would have been a nice little touch.
Or I suppose by this point, no, it's forgotten about, though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
He's like an older Time Lord criminal, and then he made all of Gallifrey forget about Shada itself. So by the time the Master rose to infamy, they wouldn't have remembered they had Shada to stick him in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a nice touch, though, with the Professor and that twist. I mean, how do you feel about it?
It's so left field, but I love it. Because I love the idea of this sort of doddery old professor. He's quite stained and worn. You just look at his jacket all crumpled in there. And then you get the twist where he's, this Time Lord criminal. Like, oh no, it's that sort of War Master effect, isn't it? But he's like, not this sweet, nice old man.
Yeah, it is. It's the same as Pressiana. Although in this, it ends up being that he's fine anyway. So, but I mean, the actor didn't come back to voice his character, did he?
I think they just used sound clips, was it, from like the episodes they had?
Yeah, because he is quite quiet in the animated bit. I think he did get to record most of his stuff anyway, because he spends most of it in his room.
Yeah, thankfully we had that.
Yeah, same with David. Is it Briley or Brearley?
Briley, I want to say.
Briley, yeah. Who plays K9. He obviously passed on before they got round to recording this. And so they reused clips from out his era in this as just generic K9 lines. Well, I actually quite like his K9, to be honest. I feel like it jolts you at first in Creature from the Pit, but as you go on through his era, you feel like he mellows a lot more. I feel like in Creature from the Pit, he was trying to do something anti-John Leeson. But as you get to Nightmare of Eden, he sort of accepted what K9's character is, I suppose.
I think that's probably the joy.
Much sass.
The joy of watching the collection series in order, because I think we're so used to as fans just picking a DVD off the shelf and watching it. But with these Blu-ray box sets, you feel compelled to go, right, I'm going to watch from Destiny to Shada in this case. But I wouldn't say I'm too keen on David Briley. Mainly because you're so used to having John Leeson.
Yeah, you really are conditioned to his voice as K9. So
it sort of feels dirty. I think another person voicing K9 in a way.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose you've always got the canon explanation of it being the laryngitis. Yeah. I don't know. It is. I think it doesn't help as well that John Leeson comes back. Yeah. And so it's almost the show itself tells you this second K9 isn't as good. And then he also keeps voicing him as well to this day. And so, like, even when we go back to this era with Big Finish, it is John Leeson and Lala Ward in season 17 stories. They've not gone and recast David Briley's incarnation of the character.
I'm sure there'll be some way to do it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you only did 4 stories, really. So,
But it just sort of catches you off guard because like you say, we're conditioned for John Leeson.
yeah. That's the fact that the prop's the same as well. So it's not like.
Yeah.
Whereas with most recasts, you've got a different face there to make it obvious. So.
But yeah, I guess that's our little tier list, I guess.
Yeah, that's our Shada tier list. More just
It's
a little fun one, really. Isn't
little
it,
fun one
than...
just to celebrate 42 is
yeah,
like you say, that's Douglas Adams' magic number.
Yeah. Just a bit of fun, really. Not one to take too seriously. Please don't take any of our tier list too seriously. We learned that lesson last time.
Yeah, well, our opinion is definitely not facts. As yesterday said, this is up there with the niche rankings you've done. Yeah, we're full of doing a tier list for whatever niche little thing we can.
It's more just, I think I more thought of this because I was enjoying the definitive version of Shada so much on the Blu-ray that I just wanted to talk about it on a live stream, really. Have some fun with it. And I thought we might as well work a tier list into it while we're at it.
Yeah, and it feels a weak slot. What to do?
I mean, what would you rank it out of 10 overall, Shada?
Oh, a good 9 out of 10.
Oh, that's fair.
I really love it. Really love Shada.
I put it just under City of Death. It's very close. They are competing.
They feel very similar.
Yeah, and I suppose the music as well that we've got.
And they're all practically on location as well. So I feel like whatever story is naturally more on location, like, wow, this is fresh and exciting because Classic is so restricted to studio stuff. So when they're out on location, they have a completely different feel. You can tell that the cast are enjoying themselves. And I think that with a production like Shada, you know that it's something quite special because it's, Douglas Adams being Douglas Adams. But I think it's a weaker script compared to City of Death. But I like the added Time Lord mythology and stuff what Shada has.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, speaking of Time Lord, what did you make of the certain Time Lords appearing back in person at the end, donning the old costume?
I love that. That was one of the loveliest things to see, and just that little. I feel we can say what it is, can't we?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it was like announced before it even came out, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, granted, the body double doesn't quite work.
No, I think the costume looks a bit off as well.
I feel like it's probably the one in the Doctor Who experience.
I think also the camera angle feels wrong, like from above the TARDIS there. That's not the sort of shot they would have done at the time.
Yeah.
But then when you're looking at Tom as he stands over the console, it's magical and it just feels right.
You just feel like you're transported again to seeing Tom as the Doctor. It's like he's never left. And I mean, you could argue Tom has always been the Doctor, even before he was the Doctor.
I mean, was that specially written, or was that always going to be the ending? And they just...
I want to say that's specially written, personally. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like that was a little wink and nod for the fans, and I think that fair play if it is.
Yeah, I think it's also nice that alongside that, you also have new model shots done for this. It's not... They haven't just gone for animation for all the models, which they could have easily done.
Instead, that was Mike Tucker, wasn't it?
Yeah, but done like in the same way as it would have been at the time. But you can feel the slightly higher quality to it.
I mean, you get that with the Tom TARDIS scene as well, because it's very much like what they tried to... I think they learned that from the Day of the Dalek special edition, wasn't it? They used the same camera for it.
Yeah, they did.
As what they would have had in the 70s. So I guess the Day of the Daleks was sort of a learning curve for them with that.
Yeah, because it's not just filling in the gaps with animation. It really is bringing it together as one complete project. You don't feel like you're getting the short end of the stick with animation, do you? It's not like half and half. It is very much, this is one full product. It flows together really well. it's slightly a shame that it never got finished, but I feel like that's something we can now be reconciled with the fact that it is now finished.
Yeah, because I feel like we wouldn't have like the wholesome ending as what we
Mm,
have. I guess we wouldn't have that sort of status it has. So I think that
yeah, the mythology around it, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's the only sort of Doctor Who story that was never completed. And I think that's a great little bit of trivia for us Doctor Who fans.
Hmm. Yeah. I think it's also funny that it happens in season 17 as well. It's like this coming of full circle for Doctor Who's luck, where Strike Action shut down ITV, so City of Death and Destiny of the Daleks get these really high ratings,
Mm.
and suddenly Strike Action, what goes around comes around, hits the BBC, and Shada doesn't get made.
I mean, if it was Creature from the Pit, I'd happily see that gone. But yeah.
Yeah. It's a shame that they didn't get this one done like earlier on, but it's just the way it is.
It is the way. But I'm grateful we have it. We have, for now, the definitive version of Shada.
The only good Graham Williams finale.
Yeah. Oh, I do quite like Invasion of Time.
Oh,
And I don't dislike the Armageddon factor, but I can see why.
I struggled with the Armageddon factor. Invasion of Time, it has its moments, but you think you got it so right with Deadly Assassin. Why is it something so brightly lit? What have you done to Gallifrey?
Yeah.
But yeah, here everything works. Scripts, performances, visuals, directing. It all comes together really nicely with Shada.
It's just I mean, this is probably bad terminology to use, a perfect marriage.
Yeah.
Things.
Yeah, that's what you say.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a wonderful production, and I'm glad we have a new version of Shada as intended.
Yeah, we get to finally sit down and watch in 6 parts, because as the long movie version, I've just put off going back to it because it's such a daunting thing of sitting there for 2 hours and watching the story. It's just too much. I think an omnibus of a 4-parter you could get away with, but 6 parts is pushing it a little.
See, omnibuses just seem wrong for me. They feel sort of dirty. 'Cause I'm like, if I'm watching an omnibus, I'm like, no, I'm committing to the story. I want to have the full thing. Maybe if it's like Underworld, I would happily watch an omnibus version of it. But yeah,
I don't know. I think even if it is the full thing, it feels right to have those cliffhangers there. Like, even if I'm sitting down to watch it in one go, I like having my little cliffhangers.
yeah.
I like having an excuse to get up and go make another cup of tea.
It's Doctor Who. You got to have a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it is very much the classic series style, isn't it?
Yeah, because I don't know about you when you watch Classic Who, but you watch 2 episodes and take a little break, or do you just keep plowing through?
Yeah, it's usually 2 episodes and then come back to it the next night. So I watched this last week, Tuesday to Thursday. So, how about you? How do you...
I did 2. I did 2 a night, so I finished it today.
Yeah, I think.
So it's all good. Let's have a quick old look in the chat, and then I guess we'll wrap it up for tonight. Nice little quick stream.
Yeah. Best and worst season from each classic Doctor. Our stylish one, I suppose.
Hartnell's a tricky one.
I don't think I can say for Hartnell because I haven't seen enough of season 3.
Oh, in season 3, season 1. That's a special. You feel wrong with the Hartnell stuff.
Yeah, season 1's just like so special, isn't it? It's got such a different feel to it from any other
Doctor Who.
Should we maybe count down from 7 instead?
Yeah, that might be a bit easier. We can think about that.
I mean, worst 24.
I can agree with that. I can agree.
although not deserving of all the hate it gets, but nevertheless worse with McCoy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Best. This one's a tricky one, actually. Again, I mean, you've got to go 26.
What best and worst is it?
Yeah, McCoy.
Oh yeah, I'll go 26 is my favorite for McCoy.
Yeah, I do. I quite like 25 though. But yeah,
But I think with 25 you've got Happiness Patrol and Silver Nemesis, which I quite like. So I prefer Silver Nemesis to Happiness Patrol. I feel that's a hot take. But
I never
there we
finished
go.
Happiness Patrol.
There you go.
Gonna be my last McCoy. Yeah, I think I'll have to go 26 because even if
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of Ghostlight, it's got 2 great 4-parters and then a good 3-parter.
Mm.
Yeah, Colin now.
Yeah, kind of spoiled for choice with Colin.
Yeah,
We've only got 2 seasons as well.
yeah. I don't know which I prefer.
Because you recently, well, I say recently, it's got to be a good couple of few months now since you watched Trial again.
Yeah, but I did enjoy that trial on rewatch. But do I prefer? I feel like 22's maybe got more enjoyable stories overall, but it's also got worse stories overall. So I'd probably go 23 as the just slightly better.
I'll agree with that because I like the Terror of the Voids cut.
Yeah.
no trial.
Oh, that special edition is brilliant.
That is good. So I'd
Might
say
be
that.
my favourite Colin.
But
then, yeah. I think also just Colin himself in that series is a bit more toned back, isn't he? Not as brash as.
I guess we're starting to see what Colin wanted because there's a much more better dynamic between him and Nicola on screen, especially on Ravelox when you see him wandering around the forest. Really good stuff.
Yeah, that's great stuff. Davison.
I think me and you are going to differ on this.
I mean, I haven't seen enough of 20 to say I can. I've only seen King's Demons and Snake Dance, so
I'd say 20's his worst.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say my favourite's 19.
I'd go 21. I'd go 21.
I feel like 21's got the better stories, but I enjoy the vibes of 19 more.
I get that. And plus, you love 40, so.
I've re-listened to both Secrets of Telos and God of War now.
Any better?
Yeah, I'd say God of War improved actually.
Okay.
Now that I knew what I was getting in for with that one, I still feel like it missed the mark on some moments, like the Ice Warrior being villainous twist didn't quite work. But yeah, Secrets of Telos, I'd say I came out of it feeling I enjoyed it more, knowing what was going on, but definitely still so much stronger first half compared to the second. The second half is definitely a lot weaker.
I've not gone back to it since we did our little stream, so
that's fair.
I'll get around to when Autumn Infinity comes out.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Refresh yourself before you go into that.
And marathon it, maybe.
Yeah. Tom now. Lots of seasons to choose from here. I mean, I'd probably have to go 14 as best.
See, for me, I'm kind of torn with sort of Tom because I feel like 12 and 14 are my go-to Tom seasons. But I'd have to agree with season 14 with that.
Yeah, I think 12, you've got brilliant stories like Ark and Genesis.
Yeah.
Then I do quite like Robot and Sontaran Experiment and Revenge of the Cybermen. Another one where it's not as bad as everyone says, but they're not quite the same quality as things like Robots of Death, Deadly Assassin, Mask Mandragora, etc. Yeah. But
I mean, Hand of Fear is the weaker one.
Yeah, I agree. 13 as well. That's another strong one. Yeah. Yeah, I would have to go 14.
See, I like season 13. I like the android invasion. That gets slept on quite a bit, but I'm not too keen on Planet of Evil.
Nah. I think the one I'm less keen on is Brain of Morbius.
Oh, I love. Guess you're not a fan of Time with Children then. Oh.
I mean, are you?
Touche.
There you go. But I've come around on it though. I just put it's slightly overrated, but not a bad story. And then Seat of Doom, brilliant.
Yeah.
Pyramids of Mars, brilliant.
Yeah, banger.
Yeah. So yeah, we're both going 14 for best. What about worst?
15.
We just talked about yeah.
Fifth. I can't vibe with season 15 at all.
It's a very weird like with horror and Image of Defendal. You've got a very different tone from the other 4 stories. It is all over the place, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe 15 is worse than 16.
You got Underworld, and that's probably my least favorite classic
I
story.
haven't seen Underworld.
So okay.
But yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. But
yeah, you're not missing much by that standards.
But then I do love Image of Defendal, Sunmakers, and Horror of Fang Rock.
I like the only 2 stories I like. This is where I get cancelled.
Off we go.
Image
Your
of
turn to feel stylish ones, Ralph.
Yeah, this is going to be my turn. I like Image of Defendar. That's probably my favorite of the season, and I like Invasion of Time. Horror Fang Rock, I think's overrated. I don't see the hype in it personally. I can't click with that story at all. Personally, and I know that's a real hot take because Horror Fang Rock's such a beloved story. It's one of those stories where I've always wanted to love it, but I just can't. And it just feels a slog, personally.
Well, I feel like that's another perfect cozy watch for me, to be honest.
This is our cold vengeance of TV.
Yeah, here it is.
Oh dear.
Perfect one for hot chocky.
We love a good hot chocolate and Doctor Who.
Yeah. Stylish one here again. Would you rather season 15 on TV or the Philip Hinch presents stories as a season? I'd rather season 15 on TV.
I don't know, to be honest. Because you'll have. Because I get. Would Foe from the Future count, even though it's for season 14 finale?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we'll just go Philip Hinchcliffe because I think we said about this when we did our tier list.
Yeah, that's true.
Philip Hinchcliffe itself is 26 episodes now with the 4 volumes.
Yeah.
So it is like the length. Stylish One said, Horrifying Rock is my favourite 4th Doctor story, a fantastic sidecast, superb mystery, perfect pacing, and an all-round stellar story. I love it. Yeah, get him, Stylish One.
Well, I'm going to say I prefer Philip Hinchcliffe Presents to the TV.
Oh, no.
that's another hot take then.
Well, fair enough.
There we go.
I love the atmosphere of Horrifying Rock. It's just lashings of it. Perfect follow-up to Talons.
Sadly, I cannot see that.
No.
And weirdly, I think that's the only one filmed in Birmingham, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, it was filmed in Birmingham because I think it was like I don't know if it was like a studio strike or whatever, but yeah.
A bad story? Impossible. It was made in Birmingham. You can't hate it now.
No, I can't. Oh dear.
Yesterday says horror's great sense of atmosphere.
A lot of Horror Fang Rock love, as you can see. I'm very much an outlier in this.
Yeah, I was gonna say. But yeah, anyway, should we do? This is gonna be painful for you, best and worst Pertwees. You're gonna have to say Pertwee season is the worst.
I feel like I've just got to not just count myself out of this one.
I mean, can you even say a best, or is that blasphemy?
Oh, I think it's between 10 and 7 for me.
Yeah, I think I'll have to go 10. I think that's yeah, 10. I'll stick with 10. That's more like the Doctor Who season, I guess.
But then season 7 is just so out there, and yeah, I think that's why season 7 is so special, because it's so different to any other Doctor Who what has gone previously and before. So I think that's why it's got merits. But then season 10, you've got the great chemistry between the Doctor and Joe.
Yeah, it's sort of like quintessential Doctor Who. A lot of season 10 is. Worst, I'd probably maybe go 11. Just because I haven't seen Mutants or Time Monster, so I don't feel like I've seen enough of 9 to say it. And what I have seen of 9, I love.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sort of like, from what I've heard, those are some of the weaker Pertwees. But yeah, so I think I'd have to say 11, although I do love 11.
I feel hurt saying this.
Go
I'd
on.
have to go 11 as well. I'd have to go 11.
I
have to go 11.
think Planet of the Spiders drags it down a bit.
For me, a regeneration story is a celebration of the Doctor, and I think Planet of the Spiders personifies that really. So I
think it tries, but then it has an awkward CSO planet.
But that's Barry Letts, or CSO it.
Yeah, but he's done it better before.
Blasphemy.
Well, I have a good time with it still, but it's one of Pertwee's weaker ones. But yeah, Troughton now. We're nearly there.
We're nearly there.
Stars One says season 8. Surely it's one of my least favorite seasons in the whole show. Demons is great. Colony is really good. I don't like Terror. Mind was superb as a novel, but I don't like it as a TV story. And Axos is okay. The book is superb though. I love Mind as a TV story.
It's a really good one. It's got that sort of. It's a weird blend, isn't it? It's that sort of tonal shift from season 7 to the Joe era, really, isn't it? Because you've got that sort of grittiness to Mind of Evil.
Yeah, like from the subject matter, just the way it's filmed as well. Like it's very unit centric again. Whereas Terror of the Autons is a bit more colourful, a lot more CSO and such. So it does feel like this fresh start for unit in a way. You got the new costumes as well, new companion, new adversary. It does very much feel like a reset, and then we're getting leaning back into what it was before with Mind of Evil. But yeah, I love season 8. I think that's got a lot of great stuff in it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of season 8. I think Terror of the Autons is a fantastic one. Mind of Evil, classic. Claws of Axos was one of my early Pertwee stories, so I have a lot of fun with Axos. It's 70s Who personified. It's psychedelic as heck.
That's one that's grown on me every time I've watched it.
Yeah, and I don't really understand the hate for Bob Baker, Dave Martin stuff, unless it's Underworld. That's another matter. But yeah, Colony in Space, I really like that one. I rewatched that one fairly recently, and I had a lot of fun with that one. A lot of fun. And then Damon's You Can't Go Wrong.
No, you really can't. But yeah, Second Doctor, we've got to go back to.
Yeah, back to Troughton.
I'd probably say best 5.
I'd agree, season 5.
Ooh, what's the worst?
Season 6.
Really?
I'm not. Again, I'm gonna be with the hot takes here. I'm not a big fan of the Mind Robber.
Oh, for you, I thought you were going to say Zoe.
No. No. I really can't stand the Dominators.
I love the Dominators.
You're just weird.
I will say the Mind Robber's overrated, though.
Yeah, and then you've got Space Pirates, but Crotons is all right. The Invasion's my favourite Troughton story, and the War Games is a belter. It just seems a bit of a weird mishmash for me.
Yeah, it does. It feels like it's going back to Heartland style. where
Mhm.
it does try all these different things. Whereas season 5 is very much based under siege, based under siege, based under siege, spy thriller, based under siege, based under siege.
Yeah.
It feels like a much more consistent tone overall. Whereas season 6 is sort of throwing different things at the wall, trying out new stuff, seeing what sticks, and so I respect it for that. I think also you can tell it's one where there were script problems though.
Mhm.
Like, there was a lot of things dropped and then things replacing it last minute. Seeds of Death, that one was like entirely rewritten by Terrence
Well, that's
Dick.
all right. That's okay.
Yeah, I like that one, but you could tell it does suffer a bit from behind the scenes issues. Whereas season 5 just feels like more of a well-rounded season overall.
Yeah.
I think I like how that mirrors, like, we're starting with a Sideman story and ending with one as well. And then, like, you got the Yeti stories in the middle there. Brilliant stuff. It is very much the monster season. But I don't know, season 4, I mean, you've got power and evil in there. Sorry, Spider-Man.
We know
You've
where
also
you
got
go.
Underwater Menace. Faceless ones I do like, though. And Moonbase, I will stand by. That is great stuff. But yeah, I feel like I've got to go season 4 over season 4 under season 6. And then season 5 on top.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
No, you didn't. You said season 6 was worse.
Oh yeah, season 6. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, brain fart in there.
There we go. And now here we are back round
Back
to
to
Hartnell.
Hartnell.
Can we?
I'm gonna have to have a little Google to see.
I mean, I'm gonna have to say 1's the best, and 3's the worst, I suppose. But even I've not seen enough of 3 to really fairly rank it. But from what I have seen, I do prefer 1 and 2. I'm more likely to go for a story that's 1 or 2.
I'm just gonna get a list of stories just to refresh my mind.
I don't think there's too many bad Hartnells though.
No, I think I prefer. Oh, this is gonna pain you. I think I prefer Hartnell to Troughton.
Ooh, well, it's definitely got a pain stylish one.
Yeah.
No, I think that's fair enough. You get something different with Hartnell, whereas Troughton, you get something that's fairly similar to every other Doctor.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, season 1, looking at it, so we've got Unearthly Child, the Daleks, Edge of Destruction, Marco Polo, Keys of Marinus, the Aztecs, the Centaurites, Reign of Terror. That's all right. That's all right, but I feel like it suffers a lot of the pains and sins of the Hartnell era. I would say probably season 2 is my favourite Hartnell season.
That's one where you get a bit more variety as well.
Yeah, and then I'd maybe say season 1 is my least favourite.
Oh, that is a sting.
That's a sting, but it's a tough one to call.
Yeah. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. So I just went, wow, I can't stand season 1 and love 3. Season 1 has awful pacing and production values that I just can't get past, while season 3 is just banger after banger. I feel like season 1's production values aren't that bad.
No, I think you've got to give it admiration for it.
Yeah, I think it's quite quaint, and it doesn't. I mean, it's by season 2 that they're trying to do these big things a lot more, and sometimes they're not working, but you admire them for trying. Like, Planet is very much comes to mind. But I feel like a lot of the sets and stuff in season 1 are quite solid. I'm trying to think of any ones that stand out as particularly bad. Production. Because you never go too full on with effects or anything. I feel like in some ways it feels quite small, some of the sets, what they try, but that just adds to the coziness a bit.
Yeah, the coziness of black and white Doctor Who.
Yeah. Like maybe you got some awkward bits, like when they just use a weird map thing of Paris to show Paris, but sort of treat it as if it's a aerial shot. But yeah, I admire it for what it is. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the production values got that much better in Hartnell's time as it went on. I suppose they started going on location though, didn't they?
Yeah, I guess so, because you get, the war machines and the savages. I think that had a bit of location, actually.
Yeah, it sort of expands it all a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Stylish one. I don't give pity points, sorry. It's about execution, not the ideas. Ooh, harsh.
Oof, the savagery there.
Oh, no, it's not pity points. It's enjoyment for it being quaint.
Oh, dear me.
Why is the Daleks a 12 rated again? Who knows?
Who knows, indeed.
I suppose it's stuff about racial extermination, isn't it? It's a bit.
On the nose.
But I'd still say the writing executes its ideas really well, though, in season 1. Especially things like the Aztecs.
Oh, the Aztecs is a banger.
I see season 17 was rated 17 in some country, probably for Creature from the Pit. I don't know if that was a meme or not, or if that's actually true.
It feels like
I
a
certainly saw
TARDIS
the image.
posting. TARDIS
Yeah.
posting thing.
Who knows?
But I think that's pretty much all the chat, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Wonkactus says, end of the war games makes me depressed. Me too. Nobody will ever talk rubbish about Zoe. She's too pure. Yes.
I mean, I feel
here's
like. Oh, go on.
the stylish one having a hot take and slagging off Troughton. How dare he?
Oh.
Season 6 is rubbish, though. The only good story is The Mind Robber. It's great. Tell us Best Fine War Games and at Best Fine, sorry, War Games, and at worst, Stolen and Overly Long, The Dominators and the Invasion. Oh, pain.
Oh, how do you feel about that, Luke?
I feel pain.
I'm pain.
He said, thank goodness they never made Prison in Space, though. Yeah, that's fair. I think you've got that, haven't you, Ben? But you haven't listened.
Yeah, I've not touched that at all.
No.
Would you like any more special editions like Day of the Daleks that change the voices of monsters / villains? If so, which stories and which monsters? I think Destiny of the Daleks would have been a nice one to do. We'd get David Goodison back. From like the trailer, he sounded really good, but we missed that chance now.
Yeah. So another chance we missed would be Revenge of the Cybermen.
Yeah.
Well, that feels like one that would have been interesting. But I don't know how well those lines would have worked if they'd have been done.
It would have been the invasion voice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but yeah.
It would have been Nick.
Oh yeah, it would have been that, but I just don't know how well those lines would have worked with that voice. It's going for much more emotive, funnily enough.
I'm sure there's probably a fan edit of it somewhere.
Yeah. I expect. Are there any like monster voices that don't work well beyond Daleks and Cybermen? Because I feel like they're the ones where we go to when we think of this. But
So I would say Revelation, but again, that's a Dalek story.
yeah. I suppose there's not really too many. I mean, maybe Frontier in Space. Again, Dalek, but change the Dalek voices in that because they're very similar to what they are in Day.
I wouldn't say they're too bad in Frontier.
No, they're definitely improved, and obviously they get it right then for Planet. But yeah, nothing other than Dalek and Cyberman really comes to mind. And I think we've covered them all.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Maybe it'd be interesting to see a new series dubbed with like a more classic style voice for like Ice Warriors or something.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah. See how that works.
Imagine Silurians with the classic Silurian style voice.
That would be such a juxtaposition.
Just Neve McIntosh with Nick Briggs' voice coming out of the mouth.
Oh no, that's cursed. Oh dear me.
Ooh. Stylish one. Now you know the pain. We're even with our trout and hot takes now. Yeah, there you go. Does anyone think the Snowmen is a downgrade from Evil of the Daleks, animation-wise? Oh, the
Don't
Abominable
really know.
Snowman.
I don't think we can properly say at the minute, can we?
No, I suppose it's two different like companies doing it as well.
Yeah. One's the Big Finish team, and I think the other's Sun and Moon, is it?
Hmm. Yeah, and I suppose they're now wrapped up with Doctor Who, so it's just the Big Finish Creative doing that. Because it's very similar style to Fury from the Deep, isn't it? It's using those same models.
Yeah, it's using the same asset to those two.
Yeah, I think Evil of the Daleks use slightly updated assets
Mm-hmm.
from
Well, the Daleks have been redone.
Macra and yeah, but also the heads seemed a bit smaller on a lot of the characters,
Yeah.
which just felt a bit wrong. And the eyes as well. The eyes were a lot smaller. Yeah, we'll talk about all that in the
Animation tier list.
yeah.
Once we get Abominable Snowmen.
Mm.
If BBC America have pulled the animation funding, then I, for one, welcome out the 3D animation for Web of Fear Overlords. Long may they animate Daleks master plan like that. That's a hot take.
We've said it before. I would like them to do Underwater Menace in that style, like parts 1 and 4, just while they can, just see if there is that potential there to hone that style.
I mean, the making of, they did sort of tease it, didn't they? They were like, oh, we hope to do more.
Yeah, they were saying about how it has potential. And obviously with the assets and stuff, I think it does work out cheaper in the long run. So
Yeah.
that could... I mean, maybe they knew about the BBC America thing for a while now, so that's why they trialed this out with Web of Fear, because they knew it would be the cheaper way to go to hopefully carry on the animations.
Mm.
Who knows? Because that one's definitely not funded by BBC America, is it?
No.
Because they wouldn't.
No.
Yeah, they'd want the whole story.
Yeah, they want the whole thing animated.
I'm joking. I'm not serious. I don't want to see Brett Vine look like the Roblox Brigadier. Yeah, that's it as well, isn't it? They can reuse the actors' models. Just
Oh, God.
they remove the moustache from that, and
Oh,
there you
dear,
go.
dear. Not that you could tell it was Nicholas Courtney.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Wonk Cactus, I think the BBC knew that Evil was going to sell more than the rest since Daleks. Yeah, that's true. Which makes you wonder why they never did Wheel in Space since Cybermen.
I think that was on the cards.
Yeah. I mean, there was that cut down episode 1, so...
So it does make you wonder. Maybe that'll be like the first of the BritBox exclusives, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Maybe they can go back to doing just the missing ones and just in black and white.
Yeah, I
and just
don't
in
think
4x3.
colour animation has a life outside the BBC America ones, personally.
Yeah, I don't... I feel like they tried to sell you on it a lot, though. Like they're saying, oh, we can make this as they would have originally envisioned it. Like this is... how they would have done it at the time had they had the technology, but it just feels wrong for most of them. Well, I understand what they're saying, but they've sort of got to say that, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I've recently taken your recommendation, Ben. I'm getting into the Companion Chronicles. I'm listening to the Guardian of the Solar System, and I'm loving it so far. I'm not against narration anymore. There you go.
It's a good set, that
Right.
Sarah Kingdom trilogy. Recommend that one. I mean, I think the Hartnell ones, that and the Oliver Harper trilogy, are definitely worth looking into if you want to get into Companion Chronicles.
They all Simon Gurrier as well.
Yeah, Simon Gurrier.
He's very much the 60s man, isn't he?
Yeah,
Big Finish.
The Outliers is another belter by him.
I mean, even Scourge of the Cybermen, despite being
Yeah.
70s, has a very 60s feel to it.
That is a wonderful one. So yeah, I'm glad that you're enjoying the Companion Chronicles because I think they are some of Big Finish's sort of forgotten gems, and there's about 80 of them. So there's a wealth of stories to dive in and enjoy.
Yeah, I suppose it's it's almost a forgotten era now, isn't it? It's sort of moving beyond that.
Yeah, I think this
Exactly.
second Doctor set will probably be the last one.
Yeah, I mean the range ended once before, but yeah, it does seem like with things like the Doctor Chronicles becoming just straight up full cast, I can't really see a future for this at the moment. Big Finish, now that we have the second Doctor adventures range in itself with Michael Troughton. But I mean, hopefully we'll still get early adventures where it's like this happy medium.
Yeah.
I think I could see them continuing a little while longer, perhaps.
I think that's a good way to sort of close off. Oh, hang on, there's a few more questions. Sorry.
Oh,
Do the Companion Chronicles have any overarching plot, or can you just pick and choose at random? I think there's a couple of arcs. There's the Oliver Harper stuff, Sarah Kingdom, and I think the Zoe stuff, and you have sort of older Stephen, which I think begins in the War to End All Wars, and then I think that concludes in the first Doctor Companion Chronicle box set 1. But for the most part, the Companion Chronicles are very much cherry pick, and you can enjoy.
yeah, and I think each story does still stand on its own anyway. Even if you are in the middle of an arc, you can pick up where things are pretty easily. Just watching the Mission to the Unknown remake makes me want more stories like that so bad. I had a live action one.
I've not watched that.
I still haven't actually either. I remember being quite excited for it at the time, but then
fake fans we are.
Yeah. You can feel that it's made now though. I think just knowing that sort of puts you off a bit.
Yeah.
But I think what they've done with it is still brilliant from what I've seen. Yeah. Night's Black Agents tied into the Six and Older Jamie arc. Also, Prisoner's Delight ties into the Key to Time arc.
Oh, and
yes,
then you
that's
have
right, by this run. Yeah.
And then you have Project Nirvana, which ties into, I guess, the project stuff, and I guess a Black and White TARDIS arc as well. But again, you're probably not going to dive into those unless you're not familiar with those arcs.
Yeah. I think they do make it fairly clear on the website, like when things are connected.
Yeah, they are pretty good with that Big Finish.
Honestly, some parts of it look really classic and 60s, like it blew me away. Yeah, I can definitely believe that. Like, from what you've seen, with how much effort they went to recreate it, yeah. Well, farewell yesterday. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
There's a Fifth Doctor audio that tied into the Dahl Traders arc.
I don't really remember the Dahl Traders having an arc, because that's like the Death Collectors, isn't it?
Yeah, I think does it only just tie into one other story, really?
Yeah. So I can't say this. I mean, I could. It's been a while since I've listened to the Death Collectors, so I can't.
Well, I suppose it's in a similar sense to the Eminence stuff, really, isn't it? You can still listen to things like Destroy the Infinite or Seeds of War without any other context for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at what that. I think it's read. Yeah, it's read by Sarah Sutton.
Yeah.
What that one was called. can't seem to find it. Where? I hit the Darkening Eye.
There we go.
Yeah, it's funny seeing like Tegan and Adric on the cover there because
Mm.
like now we just expect them to be in a fair few Fifth Doctor stories, but back then they
That'd
didn't
be
have either
revolutionary.
actor, so
Yeah.
yeah, they just had it was only Nissa stuff we could get or
Yeah.
Perry, or
Yeah.
Turlo.
But we live in an age now where we have them all, practically.
Yeah, certainly all the Fifth Doctor companions now. But yeah, that was the thing. Like without Janet Fielding, you were missing so much of the Fifth Doctor's era.
Yeah, quite a lot. And Tegan is, probably maybe the definitive Fifth Doctor companion in that regard. Then,
Yeah, makes you wonder what they would have done if they had Matthew Waterhouse early on,
yeah,
because you can't put him with Tom because he doesn't come along until 2012. And like, do you find a way to put him with the Fifth Doctor and Nissa without Tegan?
yeah. I mean, I'm sure they would have found a way of putting him in Gallifrey.
Oh yeah, maybe that would have been hit.
Maybe
I'm
something
sure Lala
like
Wood
that.
would have loved that.
Oh yeah, she would have been thrilled.
Yeah, we're very much going back into Big Finish Hands territory
Yeah,
now, aren't we?
Yeah,
Not that it matters.
Not
We
that it
don't-
matters for us,
we don't have
but
to
there we
stick
go.
strictly to anything. Yeah.
I guess that's a good way to sort of say goodnight.
Mm.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us for our little Shada tier list to celebrate 42 years of Shada.
Yeah. Happy birthday to Shada.
Happy birthday indeed to the lost classic Shada.
Yeah, definitely one that's worth reevaluating. If you got your season 17 Blu-ray, go stick it on. Have a good time with it because it is one of the greats.
Like we say, it is the definitive version of Shada for now.
Yeah,
For now.
We'll come back and update the tier list in another 5 years.
There'll be another 5 books. There'll be a Target novel. Yeah, we'll have more version of Shada, I'm sure. But yes, thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll see you very soon for whatever next tier list we do or review. So thank you everyone for joining us in the chat. Thank you for the questions. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.
Take care.